A live studio audience.
I feel like we might need the power of editing.
I always have the power of God and editing on my side. Yeah!
That explains why you get defeated by groups of friends. You follow the JRPG scale, but on the wrong end. You align your power with God, you find yourself destroyed by the power of friendship.
Oh no. Or else I myself, as you know how JRPGs start, like rescue a lost cub from the woods and then become God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fight 10 rats in the basement of a pub and then destroy the world and then recollect the world and then fight 10 more rats.
Exactly. What?
And then
Why
find a
are you
maid
gonna
outfit
be
that's
bringing up
really strong
rats?
against psychic damage for reasons.
Like some odd foreshadowing. What? Nothing. All right, everybody.
It's JRPG logic, okay? It's fine. This happens.
Lay it down. First, I want to say hello, everybody. Welcome back to another glorious Monday of Arctis. I know everybody has had weeks of varying awesomeness, but I am always glad that we can get together and play D&D on the weekly. I appreciate it. Real quick, I just want to touch on the fact that Kongzlo, you did the Malört chup. Describe taste.
So Malört already is basically like drinking earwax.
God.
And ketchup is like licking a McDonald's dumpster. So it was like drinking earwax out of the bottom of a McDonald's dumpster, I guess is how I would describe it. Like just putting a spigot in the side of a McDonald's dumpster and letting that earwax drip straight out of it into your mouth.
God. Okay, now how many Malört chups did chat force you to do?
So I cooked like a bowl of like steak fries, and I ate the entire bowl of steak fries, dipping it into the Malört chip. So that took a while. And I had two of my like daily unlocks. One of them was like the next shot I take, because it was our like Saturday night streams. So I'm always drinking on Saturday night streams. So I was like, all right, instead of tequila for the next shot, I'll have Malört. And then like the bigger one was, instead of tequila for the next 5 shots, I'll have Malört. And someone at the start of the stream was like, how much to have nothing but Malört all night? And I was like, that's going to be expensive. That's like 400 points, and then just instantly.
Yes, that is the chatter we need and deserve.
So now there is an empty bottle of Malört next to me that I have significant regrets involving. Because I did entirely finish a bottle of Malört on Saturday, start to finish.
Do you factor in future healthcare costs relative to your subathon goals? I'm asking for a friend.
Yeah, is there like a premium? Like we want to hit 4,000 points plus an extra 1,000 to foot the hospital bill.
Yeah,
like
is some of this money going into an HSA? That's really what I want to know.
So I've never had Malört. I have heard of it, but I've never had it. So I Google it. Some say it tastes like pencil shavings, old battery rust, citrus zest, and earwax.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Basically the retirement plan for a full-time Twitch streamer is die in your chair. So I just kind of see it as I'm actually saving money on healthcare long term.
What?
I hope you have like a Herman Miller chair or something then.
Yeah, at least I hope that chair is comfortable. Holy, I'm in awe of your intestinal fortitude. And not only did like Bree Baby in chat said that you drank the whole bottle, and I wanted to hear the story. And it's just as horrifying as I expected.
Yeah. Bree was the cause of this, by the way.
I'm clapping. You know what? Bravo.
How much for you to just enjoy a nice bottle of bourbon on your stream? Just regular old bourbon. You can have it with ice or no ice if you choose. Even Coke if you want. How much for that?
I'll do that for free.
Yeah, I think we just have to supply the bourbon.
Yeah, pretty much.
I've got plenty.
I think you're grossly undervaluing yourself for that current market. I think you did that for the Malört too, but honestly, the story was worth it.
I mean, there
The
are
dumb
specific
part-
things you do for stream.
400 points is how much, by the way? Like in terms of like this.
A point is roughly, like, I have to fudge the numbers a little bit for a lot of reasons, but it's roughly equal to $1. So it was $400 that I made to drink an entire bottle of Malört in one night.
I mean, the healthcare, like carry the 2, multiply by 3, yeah, I think that kind of evens out. But yeah.
Were you chasing with anything?
Regret?
Yeah. Water
Regret,
occasionally.
and then when he was
An
half asleep, an
additional
hour
Malört.
later, saying the most outrageous and weird things he could possibly come up with in his sleep.
Yeah, apparently I was demanding that Cherry put eggs in my ass.
And then got mad that it was my suggestion when he was the one that said it. I said,
Holy
Why would
fuck.
you suggest such a thing? That's weird.
I want
Soft boiled,
nothing
hard
to do
boiled,
with
scrambled.
eggs in your ass or my ass. And he's like, but the eggs. And then he fell asleep again.
Bring me my ovipositor. Glorg, glorg.
Yeah.
I'm eating deviled eggs again after this.
Oh my fucking god. Deviled with fucking Malört.
This was not on my
Amazing.
Monday bingo card, but I'm here for this.
You know what, C-Swab, we should find a nice bottle. Well, you know what, Kongzlo, what is your favorite liquor? Don't say Malört.
What is my favorite liquor? Bourbon wise, I'm a big fan of Angel's Envy.
Mm-hmm.
My normal, hey, we're having a bunch of drinks tonight, drink is tequila, because I, for whatever reason, can stomach that, like, in large quantities better than anything else, which is backwards as fuck, but that's how it is.
You don't choose tequila chooses you.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't fuck with tequila anymore.
The worst part is the hangover from the entire. This was a full 750 ml bottle of Malört, by the way.
Good
Oh.
lord.
The
Like freshly
hangover-
cracked?
Yeah, I opened it that day.
Oh,
my God.
I opened it to make the Malört chip, and then said 400 points on stream, and then was drinking it for the rest of the night. But the hangover was actually like mild as hell. It was actually like fine. Like literally, if Malört didn't taste so bad,
It just would have been
great with it.
smooth sailing. This was on top of you still being like mildly sick this week, right?
Yeah, my throat is still a little fucked up.
Oh damn, that sucks.
Yeah, I don't know what I did, but I've had this like rough throat for like 2 weeks now. It's not great. I'm like wondering if I'm just quietly been getting over strep throat or some shit.
You can get strep tests at the grocery store. But don't forget, you don't have to like
Oh, yeah.
pay a fuck ton of money for a strep test. You just go to the grocery store and get them. They're like $10-15.
No,
And I will try to not test your voice, but unfortunately you do have the most possibly unique voice of the group, so good luck.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Kongzlo's a little froggy, but you know what? We're gonna roll with it.
there's a possibility that Southern Gentleman Kongzlo makes an appearance tonight.
I love Southern Gentleman Kongzlo. He's my favorite. Slightly stinking of Malört.
Saunters up to the bar, puts his hat on.
Excuse me, milady, can I get a nice
You have a
healthy shot
monocle?
of Malört? No, you have the monocle.
you don't have a monocle. You can wear it.
Kongzlo would enjoy Malört. That is the sort of thing that Kongzlo would genuinely enjoy.
God, that's the most fucked up thing I've ever heard, and we're about to go
More
into the
than
nightmare
absent.
episode.
Could
Oh,
I
shit.
possibly request that Southern Gentleman Kongzlo just once be simple, humble country lawyer Kongzlo?
I'm just a simple country lawyer.
Here to prosecute your case with kindness. Tips
I'm not
hat.
Kongzlo. I'm his cousin, Country Kongzlo.
Fucking country Kongzlo. Oh. Well,
They
I'm
call me Kentucky Cows.
so
What
well. I'm
tarnish-
glad you survived. That the horrors beyond all comprehension. Truly,
The
truly amazing.
Malorters.
The eggs.
And the eggs. I'm glad no eggs were inserted or removed. And by the way, we are all over 21. Please drink responsibly.
Do you know that the slogan for Malört is literally "Do not enjoy responsibly"?
What?
Yeah.
What? Hold on. Slogan for Malört. I gotta.
Just look up a Malört advertisement. You'll see it.
Wait, hold on. The AI overview is possibly even better. Hold on. One slogan for Malört is Malört. Kick your mouth in the balls.
Sounds about right.
Malört, when you need to unfriend someone in person. Malört, tonight's the night you fight your dad. Holy fuck.
Wait, hold
There-
on. Wait, you can almost make an emo. You can almost turn that into an emo chorus.
Oh, holy shit. Malört, the
Tonight
champagne
will be
of
the
pain.
night that I will fight my dad.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, wait. Oh, this one is possibly the best. Malört, turning taste buds into taste foes for generations.
That's a fucking good one.
I'm writing that down. That is great. All right.
My favorite Malört anecdote, not to stay on the Malört topic all night, but my favorite Malört anecdote I read on their website when I was trying to figure out where to buy it, is that it was successfully served throughout Prohibition because they argued successfully that no one would ever intentionally drink this for fun.
Holy shit. God, I mean, you picked a good one.
Yeah.
All right, Tabby, do not jump up on the table. There's nothing up there except Malört and sadness. Lay down.
I fear the Malord is summoning Tabby.
Tabby's like, what are you laughing at? I want to see. Nothing. You're too young to drink. All right, everybody. Welcome back in various states of sick, tired of your jobs, and or hungover. I will take them all. Thank you for showing up today. Today on Arctis Ascended, we will return to the Great Ice Library. There are horrible things happening in here. Namely, you have now solved the first puzzle and are chasing Vanix as he makes his way through Arctis's mind. The next part of your terrible tale has brought you to the Ice Library's archives, where the active books of people's stories currently being written are resolving. And this highly locked down area is no longer safe. It has been populated by a myriad Mephits. I was trying to alliterate and I couldn't think of a word for more. It started with M and then I realized that starts with M and then my brain just broke. It's fine. Malört! We'll get it out.
Oh, don't give the Mephits Malört. That's no.
I'm
Are we
begging
gonna
you.
make Malorphits?
Oh no.
You have unlocked
just
the
a-
9th nightmare. Malört.
That's worse than the
You
thing we
call
didn't
a group
fight.
of Mephits is just a Malord of Mephits.
I'll write that down too. The Nightmare of Mephits. Small pieces of Vanix that he has left behind in order to raid and be mischievous with these various archives, have greeted you with all the exuberance of a Malört of Mephits. And they have introduced themselves as various aspects of the 8 major nightmares.
Wait, did we just establish that a group of Mephits is called a Malört?
It is now.
I hate this. I'm quitting.
It's canon. It's canon.
For the Mephits have introduced themselves by their various thematic names, such as Deathit and Malörtfit and aspects of fear and loss. Now, as you potentially go through the archives, the Mephits will pester you the entire time, but Vanix is what you are looking for. And you must find where he has gone off to, and hopefully not spend too much time malingering with Mephits. However, there might be secrets that you need to unravel and reveal in order to make your next journey following after Vanix a little bit more safe. Before I divulge too many details, let us return back to the archives, where the Mephits are running rampant. One moment, please. As you have teleported to the central chamber of the Great Ice Library archives, the active books of people's lives currently being written are sprawled around you. They go from floor to ceiling, almost infinitely high. The Mephits, however, hiding between the areas of the bookshelves, flap around and are greeting you with their names, taunting and tormenting all the same. The Mephits have introduced themselves. Disaster it, lost it, fall it, trap it, death it, mourn it, violet, and dark it.
Bop it.
Bop it! Do I fucking love that video, by the way? Shoot it! Do it! Do it! Kill it!
My brother once got a bop it for his birthday, and it lasted 30 seconds because he swore it said drop it. And it was broken after that. Like, not fixable broken.
End it!
Just kill it!
Rip bop it. Well, all of these various Mephits are aspects of Vanix's nightmarish essence, and they have been sent to remain and to potentially tamper with some of the books that have been left in the archives. But the Mephits seem mostly bent on tearing out pages of the books or finding passages that are relevant to their various interests, and the arrival of our heroes have spurred them into a fury. You can, of course, attempt to kill them, but as you are currently in the dreaming, they may just come back. And besides, the Mephits aren't exactly what you are after, but Vanix himself. The Mephits seem to have questionable loyalty to their master, even though they are just little tiny pieces of the Nightmare Dragon. And speaking of really large pieces, hey buddy, yeah, I'm gonna need you to get off the table. I love you, but you're gonna have to jump over here. Come on. Come on. Yeah, there you go. Oh, chonk it. Good boy, stay down. The Mephits swirl around you, eager to show you just exactly what they have done. But otherwise, you are free to engage with them as you wish. They have already told you that Vanix has tampered with some of these active memories, or even some of the ones that have been long filed away, inserting his generals and his presence into certain books, hoping to change what people remember of history. The 8 Mephits swirl around you, continuing to chatter as fighting amongst themselves, deciding who exactly they want to engage with first. You may begin.
Oh, they all look so interesting. Yes.
The Mephits are continue to chatter with one another, fighting with each other, hoping that you engage with one of them first. They create a din of high-pitched noises and squealings, some of them devolving into slap fights as you all look amongst yourselves. You see at the northern, southern, western and eastern parts of the room. Large, closed, oaken doors. And around you, books that have been pulled off of the multiple bookshelves, scattered around, pages torn out in places, drawings appearing on others in crude, impish hand. What do you do?
Do we want to, He's gonna like flash one of like the soul coins. So, you want to bribe our way out?
No, that's somebody's soul you have there, Sea-Swab.
But what if it's a bad person's soul?
What if it's not? How would you know? And what is bad classified as in the first place? Bad somebody who jaywalked across the street one time? Or is bad somebody who, like, murdered a whole bunch of people? You have no idea.
What if it's somebody who murdered a bunch of puppies?
Yes, do you know?
50-50 shot?
It either is or it isn't.
The callousness with which you seem content to do things with people's immortal souls
I
is rather
apologize.
concerning.
I'm just brainstorming. It was just a suggestion. We will move on from the bribery.
I mean, bribery is fine, but bribery with people's souls is a little much.
Okay. Well, we gave away most of our worthless shit to the last group of Mephits in the lava lake, so...
I don't know that these ones would be particularly interested in random shit from my pockets anyway, to be honest.
I mean, I'm trying to be productive here, okay?
No. Like in terms of what they would be interested in, you are probably correct in the soul coins, but it feels a little dark to just be offering those up willy-nilly.
None of the Mephits seem to have spotted the soul coin that you have produced from your pocket. You could easily hide it again without being harassed by the Mephits.
Well, yeah, I was just trying to... It was very, very much like a... Hey, what about this? But, yeah, no, I'm not going to let them see that shit.
You put it back in your pocket for safekeeping.
What does it have in its pockets?
A soul?
My soul's attached to my body. You cannot have it at this time.
What? Soul? No, who's talking about souls? What?
Well, there's 8 of them. Don't know if I want to fight our way out of this one. I forget, they were gonna let it. We had to go through the east door, right? That's when they said we had to go through first.
They had given you potentially a choice.
They said trap it. I remember they said trap it.
They did
right?
say trap it. And trap it flies forward a little bit.
Yes? Now, you will be technically trapped in here with us. A delight in itself. But if you wish to triumph over Vanix's various generals and the nightmares he has scrawled into history, then you must delve into history and face your fears themselves.
So just to be clear, we would be dealing with whatever nightmares Vanix has tried to inject into the real world or history or what have you?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Vanix grows weaker the more he splits himself within the mind of Arctis. Triumphing over these fears, the terrifying parts of history, or even conquering your own fears, will weaken Vanix in turn.
But if we just wanted to skip to the Vanix part, where would we go?
We can make sure that will happen, but I promise you, you will perish.
But, like, hypothetically, if we wanted to do that, where would we go?
Why, you're standing on it right now.
Oh, okay.
But I do promise you, you will die.
So 4 rooms, 4 nightmares, plus Vanix. That's about the equation we have here.
No, my dear. There are 8 rooms, 8 aspects of Vanix.
Oh, that sounds like so much work.
You hear Violet to the west.
Yes, it is so much violence, wanton, untold violence. Violet is being a little bit facetious. There are various things. Sometimes a little bit of Vanix's essence manifests into a general that tries to change the flow of things, the memory of things, tainting it, turning a once happy memory into a potentially frightful one. A memory of a simple picnic on a sun-warmed beach is certainly tainted if one goes into the water and is eaten by a shark.
There's not really a creative one among you, is there?
Creative, we are aspects of Vanix, the 8 major nightmares, the pinnacles, the pillars.
Right. I'm just saying, like, somebody getting eaten at a picnic on a beach by a shark is not the most creative.
Trappit frowns.
It was all I could think of on short notice.
Wait, who said that?
Trappit.
Oh no.
My specialty revolves around, well, the smothering, choking feeling of being trapped somewhere that you do not want to be.
Right.
Come, I can show you to the room and give you a better idea of what is to come.
But there's a general in the room.
No,
all the rooms?
No. Not in the room itself. The nightmare will not start until you research just exactly where Vanix has planted himself. You would never find him otherwise. Without our help, you would merely be looking at book after book, thousands of memories. And
All right,
you may not find anything. So I suggest being very nice to us. Yes, very nice.
New deal. Any Mephits who happen to have an aspect of Vanix floating around will do your nightmares first. Does that sound fair?
They're all aspects of Vanix. He just knows how to stoke your fears in different ways.
Right. I don't know, it sounded like Trappit was admitting that he didn't really have anything interesting in his nightmare, so why would we bother with it?
My nightmare is terrifying. I am the pinnacle of fear. Why, what we were a young child trapped in a well with no one around. Waist deep in water, you would watch yourself as you slowly rot to death as your throat goes raw and bloody from screaming for help.
I'm sorry, are you workshopping your nightmare right now? I thought you had to have your nightmares already finished.
I am the aspect of fear!
He pounds
Doodle,
on
Kongzlo, help me out here. Like, this really feels like a rush job.
I mean, yeah, there's really no structure to this. I mean, how did the child even? I mean, was the well even like made safe against the child just falling in? Was this a poorly constructed well? Like, what kind of environment are we setting up? Like, if the child was set for failure at the beginning, what do you expect to happen? Huh? Why are you not protecting the child? It sounds like the nightmare is you just being irresponsible.
Right, what is our motivation?
Your motivation is surviving long enough for you to potentially defeat Vanix. And all of the little pieces he has left in the Great Ice Library. That is your motivation. Are you not heroes?
It sounds like the piece you left is like a fingernail or something like insignificant, though.
I am fear! I am the
Are you
right.
fear? Is the fear your fear of being a failure at what you were created?
Am I a failure?
He turns behind him and looks at Follett.
I mean, if we don't go into your nightmare, presumably, yes, you are. That's like your whole purpose for existing.
I find myself whelmed, borderline leaning towards underwhelmed. Honestly.
Oh no.
Oh, fine then.
Listen, hold on. I'm sure you worked great on your nightmare. Maybe we look at a different nightmare first. Okay? There's 7 more of you. We'll look at what they got. If nothing's better, we'll come back to you.
Oh, I like this. Have them pitch their nightmares to us like a tank, like a shark tank.
Doom, 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 doom. Today on the Shark Tank.
A nightmare tank.
I am Follett. The fear of falling. For you to fall from a great height, your bodies crushed as you land so haphazardly on the ground below.
Okay, so we have a flying machine and we have a dragon who can fly. So for that reason, I'm out.
It doesn't make any sense. I mean, the ability to grant flight through magic is well known and documented. I don't see a business here. I'm out.
You see, Follett, your business proposal is stupid and lame. They are powerful magic users. They do not fear heights. That is beyond them.
Trappit, you did have your chance to pitch. You gave 2 individual pitches, and honestly, right now it's not looking good for you either. So,
For that reason, you're out?
we'll put a pin in it. You can just sit right there. Calm down.
He flies
All right,
to the
who's
back
next?
of the room. Follett. He too flies to the back of the room.
Look at this.
I
We
have
took
an
we took a
idea.
bunch of Mephits and we just gave them anxiety. Perfectly good enough.
So, hold on. Rain, hear me out for a second, okay? So, they've all got their generals and stuff, right? What if we
Sure.
could convince them to have their generals fight each other and then we just fight the one that's left?
I don't know, let's
truly,
hear the rest of the pitches,
greatest
but I don't-
nightmare is the scariest, the strongest one, right?
I don't hate that pitch. I'm not sure we can get them to go for it, but I
Counterpoint,
like
the
where
greatest,
you're thinking.
the greatest one just could be the one that was left standing after the battle,
Yeah.
which would be weaker for us. Would make it easier for us, actually.
Not to mention the idea that Vanix would have to support all 8 shots at the same time.
I'm going to level with you guys. The thing that's really hinky about this to me is like, this is all Vanix's master plan or whatever. Why would he give us the opportunity to weaken him in the first place? It all feels, honestly, a little forced.
I hear you, but honestly, like, take into account the megalomania of this guy, right? Big, powerful nightmare, but he wants us to play hide and seek first?
That's honestly fair. Demons aren't really rational, I suppose. All right, who's up next? Who's got the next pitch?
Ahem. I am lost it. The fear of being lost. Have you ever found yourself wandering into a great unknown, perhaps a dark wood, or being adrift at sea with no land in sight? As you watch your mortal body slowly crumble and fade into starvation, you consider your following. Do you drink the salty seawater and risk getting further sick, accelerating your death? Or do you give yourself to the bears as you can hear the howling of the wolves at night, quickly on your trail?
Wait, are they bears or wolves?
There's bears and wolves! It is the forest or the ocean. But in that case,
Hey,
there would be
lost it.
sharks.
Lost it slightly better. You gave some couple scenarios, which I like. You kind of have the same problem as Follett in that, again, magic has solved a lot of these problems. Oh, I'm lost at sea. I can use magic to like guide my way. Oh, I'm lost in the woods. I can create fire to keep myself warm and keep away the animals.
Well, hang on, Seaswab.
But you
I
sit
do
in a
have to
place
say,
of high privilege. If you are born with magic, you do not understand what it is like to not have it. Not all are as strong, muscular, and handsome and beautiful as you.
I did think that there was something evocative in the delivery there. Lost it. Don't. And I'm not out yet. I thought that was pretty good. Certainly the best pitch we've heard so far.
Lost it. Claps.
Hooray! I am terror.
I wouldn't go that far. Not yet, anyway.
Like lowercase,
What if there
lowercase
was-
t.
2 bears.
Oh, 2 bears.
One cave?
Yes, they were both in the same.
What if
You
there
know
were
what?
2 bears and one random guy you don't know?
Oh no,
Even more terrifying. Would you
We're not-
choose the bear?
guys, we're not supposed to help them make the nightmares more terrifying. That's not what we're
sorry.
doing here.
I want to hear more about these waterborne bear wolves. Give me the 3-year plan on these waterborne bear wolves. I need to understand your vision for this.
I do imagine water bears being quite terrifying. Bears of the sea.
I
No.
think that's just whales.
I mean,
Oh,
at that
you
point,
know,
you just have
that's
hairy
true.
whales. Yeah.
We have one of those.
But you have a
we do.
whale.
Yeah.
I do not see it.
More
Because
of
it's
a
very
grower.
good at being a whale.
Whales are known for being very stealthy.
Exactly.
Right. Just asked it. What is a whale?
You just hear the Mephit make a disgusted noise in the background.
Very, very well. Do you like my pitch? Am I
It's
in?
You're definitely the leading contender right now. Yeah.
Hooray!
Of the 3 pitches I've heard so far, you're definitely in the top 3.
I need to figure out a way to hire all of these Mephits afterwards.
Grabella offered to take them to her lair.
That's honestly still like our end game, right? Like
I think so.
that's still
We're
it.
gonna make like a haunted house sort of thing inside Maginox, where the whole appeal is that you go there to face your deepest, darkest fears, as presented by these guys.
Oh my
Are we
gosh,
going
that
to
would be
have school
amazing.
festival day in Maginox? Is that going to happen?
Wait, you still have the pyramid. You could just the pyramid is a haunted house.
The pyramid of horror.
Come see the worst things and the most annoying things you've ever seen. Also, hello, Starbuck. Somebody has survived a year after his heart attack.
Hooray! Who would you
Just
like to
making
hear
it my
from
problem.
next?
Well, it's whoever has a good pitch, honestly. So please step up if you're ready. I'm a little worried that you're all a little reticent to pitch. Barely heard from half of you.
I am Mormon. I am a little like loss, a little like being trapped. But I am not as physical as my brother. I am the sullen depression that crawls into your mind when you're at your weakest. Whether you have lost a loved one or merely are mourning the death of something long taken from you, I am the fear of loss and not being lost. I am the nagging feeling in the back of your mind that one day you will expire and no one will remember you.
Well, I think you just made us all depressed. I'm not sure about the fear part, but I guess good job on the depression.
Thank you.
I feel like the depression is actually what's going to cause the most fear. So I kind of like this pitch the most right now.
It's interesting. It's definitely not the vibes I was interested in when we walked in here. This is definitely still not the vibes I was interested in, though, to be honest.
I feel like it's a different way of looking outside the box of fear, right? Like there's just traditional fear, like these other guys, but like this guy's, sorry, I don't want to assume these Mephits. This Malört is. This one's thinking outside the box. They're trying to approach it, and sometimes innovation is what you need in times like this. You can only be scared of so many things for so long before you're like, fear is like the mind killer or whatever. I like this. This is outside the box thinking. This is my front runner.
Thank you. I am a primal fear, but very similar to my brother Deathit here, but more of the feeling of things that have already died, and not the fear of death itself.
Wait, like ghosts?
He
I think I married a ghost once.
Ghosts
Do we have
are
to worry
in
about-
my purview, yes, as many of them remain upon this plane for their own unresolved issues. The power of mourning, the power of unfinished business is quite a heavy fear, enough to tether the soul to the material for longer than it is intended to.
Mornet takes a step back.
Thank you for coming to my imp talk.
These pitches are getting better as they go along.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that maybe we started off, the right side of the room really kind of phoned it in.
But
Sorry,
hey,
guys.
I'm a primal fear!
Of course you are. Of course you are.
He kicks his tiny little purple legs in the air.
Do you think we should hang
Who's
their
a
pitch
primal
on the
fear?
I am.
Sorry, was that White Doodle?
fridge? Do you think we should hang their pitch on the fridge to show that we really appreciate them?
Who's a big primal fear? Who's a big primal fear?
Who would you like to hear from next?
Mornet asks.
I mean, this is your guys' show. Like, who wants next?
I am Darkit. I am the fear of the dark. Something that is instilled in you when you are just a child. When you cannot see, anything can creep up to you. Many things lurk in the darkness, unknowns, just waiting to pounce at their greatest opportunity. I am an old fear, a powerful one that can continue long into your, what you would consider, adulthood. The fear of the dark is common, and for good reason, as many terrors dwell in the darkness.
Kongzlo will glance around at the whole party, looking at everyone.
So can anyone here not see perfectly fine in the dark at this point?
I was gonna say, this really kind of, I feel like, would have spoken to C-Swab just hours ago, but I think
No,
C-Swab
yeah,
actually
boys, I don't
lived
care.
this one already.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, Darkit, if you were a couple days earlier, you would be my guy.
The scent of your fear still permeates your clothes, Sea Swab. It is still fresh to me.
I mean, yeah, that's fine. It could be fresh to you, but you're just a little late, buddy.
All right, but I think there's something there. There's something there.
Definitely needs the least amount of work.
All right, Violet, Disaster, what, Death It? Let's go. What you guys got?
No, me next. I am Violet. I am the violence, Mephit. I am death. I am blood. I am destruction.
Rain holds up her finger. Hold it right there. We're all pretty down with violence. We're all pretty pro-violence, right? Yeah?
When Doodle pulls
Love
a
it.
grenade out.
Yeah, we are big fans of violence, which feels a little at odds with what your pitch is of, like, Ultimate Nightmare.
Yours is more
How
like a
are you
dream.
going to make violence speak to us?
I am the untold violence, the violence against your loved ones, those that are too weak to protect themselves. You can only be in certain places at once. You cannot protect everyone. Violence rears its head at the most inopportune times, whether it comes from the dark or whether it comes from your own simmering emotions. People crave violence. They love violence. We could be very good friends, yes. You love it just as much as I do. But the fear of violence, someone stronger, greater than you, inflicting pain, torture, blood. I am Violet. The violence, Mephit. Although you crave violence, there are many, many of them that are weaker than you, that cannot stand up for themselves, and would crumple with just one knife to the belly.
That's a great pitch, actually. Honestly, of anybody here, I think you have the most opportunity for gainful employment with this group when all this is over.
I knew we would get along so well. Your clothes are still dappled with blood.
Wait, how? I want to know the logistics of how there's blood on any of us right now.
Did demons bleed? I guess so.
I mean, well, there was a demon, but then like,
Oh yeah, I guess we did kill that demon guy.
Yep, it's fine. So good pitch, Violet.
Thank you. I am, after all, a primal fear.
okay, right, we got I believe 2 pitches left. 1 pitch left.
Yeah, Disaster and Death It, I think?
All right, the double D's.
I am disastered. I am the disaster method. Natural disasters are my bread and butter. Have you ever considered sitting down in your gilded castle thinking everything is perfect, guarded by guards, your loved ones at your side, and then the ground begins to quake and split asunder? You are helpless to do anything as you watch your loved ones be swallowed up or have the ceiling come down and crush them into just a smear upon the ground. Have you considered the natural power of the ocean, a typhoon swelling through the city, drowning those that are unprepared? I am the fear of natural disaster, or man-made ones. I am unexpected and come, well, when you least expect. And I bring nothing but pain and loss. I wake.
You know what I feel like is missing from all of these pitches? Like, school it. Like, any of you ever have like the horrifying realization that you haven't shown up to a class all semester long? like, you know, arcane iconography or something. You just skip the whole thing and then you have to show up for the final exam. I don't see anybody pitching this. That is truly the most primal fear here. Where's that method?
Oh, so like,
Late it and school it are lesser primals. They are not here.
so like.
Well, that's
like
probably
you show
your
up to
fault, right?
school in your underwear.
Right? Honestly, where are those guys? Those are the guys we want to hear the
You guys
pitches from.
said Schoolin is lesser? Schoolin's better than at least half of you.
How dare
really,
you?
Follett, you rate above Schoolit. Really, truly.
People fear falling significantly more than they fear going to. That's just strictly not true, Follett.
Follett sulks in the air.
You all fear responsibility. Where is responsibility?
That's also a very good question.
He is a lesser primal.
I
Responsibility
don't
is
know.
only for those that are, well, powerful enough to have them. Yes, what are responsibilities anyway? Things that others more powerful than you pressure you into doing. That would certainly more be Trappet's purview.
It sounds like you guys kind of like weren't being responsible in arranging who the 8 should be here are. Because if you guys think you're the 8 best,
We didn't decide.
This is,
we were created. We were just.
yeah, this is Vanix's fault.
We didn't have a choice in this matter. There was no class. There was no meeting. These.
Well, I tell you all what, I'm sure we will find you all perfectly gainful employment when all of this is over. Mostly because I know that the people around me love Pokemon.
Trappet steps forward.
Don't do it! Employment is a trap!
We have HR.
you guys aren't trapped now?
Oh no, you are most certainly trapped in here with us.
Trappet says to you all.
We have employees' rights. What do you have here?
Employment is certainly my purview.
Trappet says.
Why, employment is just one stronger and more powerful and more cooler than you, subjugating someone lesser.
I see a future senior VP of HR in the making right there.
Yep.
I have credentials.
Just ask yourself, what have you done for the company lately?
See, my favorite saying is, we're like family here. Yes.
I gotta go. Nope, I'm out.
Yeah, no.
Wait, no. Would you like a pizza party?
Oh God, no! We don't do pizza parties.
What about if I brought in just some donuts?
Trap it. I was gonna try to be nice, but
You just ruined it. You ruined it.
Trappet, you're trying too hard.
What? No, employment is
And-
certainly in my purview.
I mean, yeah, that's fine. But the problem is, you've told me that you don't deserve the senior VP of HR because responsibility is not going to matter if accountability doesn't exist. And what I'm seeing here is a complete lack of accountability on anyone to make sure they responsibly got their projects in line.
Foolish
I don't fit for the
kobold,
role.
you think CEOs have accountability? You have fallen to the propaganda.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you see yourself as CEO level? Is that why you're coming to us for help?
Yes, I do. In fact, if I just call myself a CEO, then I am CEO. Follett, what is a CEO? A cunning, enigmatic organism. Yes, that is what I am.
Did you just acronym that?
You know, even that I feel needs a little work. Let's not get rid of our current HR just yet.
Yeah, no.
Are you sure? Are you sure your employees do not need additional subjugation?
We really appreciate your interest in this position, but I believe we're going to move forward with other candidates.
What?
Yeah,
No,
you just do
no.
not meet what we're looking for in an
What?
employee at this time.
What if I said you are very important and you could do the work of 2 people but without any pay? And we will backfill. Oh yes, we will backfill, but I won't give you a timeline.
Listen,
Yeah, no.
we really appreciate. This discussion has already ended. Please stop making it awkward. You're causing a scene. Please,
I mean, if
please
the
leave.
goal is to be horrifying and the living nightmare, I think that's kind of where we're getting to at this point.
That's honestly a much better pitch, though, than Trappet's first pitch. I gotta give it to him.
I should have gone with the indentured servitude pitch.
We like to use the phrase student athletes now.
Ah, I do love colleges.
Interns.
Unpaid intern.
Deathit this entire time has been abnormally quiet. You don't think he's said anything since you all have entered the archives.
Well, in the interest of fairness, I would like to give Death the opportunity to give his pitch, but I sort of don't know that we need it.
What?
Little self-explanatory.
That's not fair.
Violet points at Deathit.
Make him pitch. He shouldn't have to just live on, well, notoriety alone. Make him squeal. Make him speak.
Has he ever spoken to any of you?
And they look around.
Has Deathit ever spoken to you?
Darkit shakes its head.
No, never. We just know he's there. Know his inevitability. Yes, the end of things. With death, there is no fear, really. There is just nothing. No, he says nothing.
The imps all eye Deathit nervously, and Deathit just stares at you, all of you, unblinking. His hands drooped loosely to his sides.
Are you all even sure that he is actually alive? He looks a little droopy.
Do you want to see him bleed? Go on, stab him a little. Just poke him in the gut. Just rip him open, tear his arms off.
Alright, Violet, I did say I kind of liked you, but it's a little bit much now.
Rip off his wings!
Yeah.
Maybe we should hear Violet out just a little bit.
Go on. Just pluck them off. Go on, rip out his toenails, gouge his eyes, see if he screams.
I'll tell you what, Violet,
anything else you'd
I
like to
double
do?
dog dare you to do that instead. I triple dog dare you.
That's so many dogs!
Oh my gosh.
I will not fall for your foul hexes, witch.
Scoots back.
Are you saying you're afraid of Deathit? Is he your nightmare?
I am violent. Death is but an inevitability once I pass through. But if everything were dead, there would be no violence after all.
Have you ever heard the phrase "beating a dead horse"?
That is a good phrase, but doesn't really get you anywhere, does it? Isn't that the point?
It gets you really good at beating dead horses.
Yes, beating dead horse skill +1. Good job.
Listen, if you're scared, it's okay to be scared.
And none of the Mephits seem to be interested in engaging Deathit.
I kind of feel like we have our answer here. I mean, if they're all scared of Deathit, which is clear, maybe we should see what he's about. Or she, I suppose. I don't know. I don't want to assume your pronouns, any of you.
Yeah.
Any and all, we are not, well, offended. But offended is a minor, yeah.
All right. Let's have a quick confab.
Is
Everyone.
offended the fear of like accidentally finding yourself as a host on a podcast?
It's the fear of being canceled, but big quotation marks around the canceled part.
Yeah.
Yes, cousin
Yeah.
to anxiety.
True.
So, what y'all think? Do we start with the most inconsequential ones, or do we start with the... I feel like they kind of go counterclockwise from Trap It, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, I mean, we can definitely, like, try one of the worst ones first to kind of get a feel for, like, what it's going to be like. Or we can just jump in the deep end.
That's kind of what I'm thinking, is maybe if we do, like... If there's not necessarily an aspect of Vanix floating around to weaken in every single one, there certainly is an aspect of him in Death It. So, from that perspective...
I mean, I'm down. Like, for my money, I would like to invest in Death It.
He's also so cool. All suave and quiet over there, just floating.
Isn't that cool?
Trap it off to the east.
I'm cool, I'm quiet, and I'm mysterious. I have cool, quiet things as well.
Oh yeah, that's what everyone wants. Someone that thinks they're a CEO who's also cool.
I'm an extremely cool CEO. I connect with the people. We're family, after all.
Bet you own your own social media site.
Wait, what?
Did you overpay for it and then tank its value by over half?
No. Is there truly a greater fear than I? That sounds terrifying,
Please,
honestly.
tell us.
There's at least 5 in this room with us right now.
I need to know about your new crypto platform, please.
I have a crypto platform for you. It is a crypt. It is full of death and silence.
No, I'm
Okay,
pretty
good,
sure
'cause-
that's the other guy.
I mean, I just want to be able to invest in intangible assets with my tangible currencies.
You are a fool.
No, you.
No.
You know, I stand by my original decision. This person's just not getting it. They're just not with it.
You're not even like... You guys should really like look into like switching out Trap It for like an actual fear.
Okay, let's stop ragging on Trap It, guys. He tried his best. He tried multiple times. We gave him multiple shots. He got a little bit better. It's okay. He can, he can learn. It's all right. All in favor then of going with Cool Kid Death It then?
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, sure.
No, absolutely not.
Oh, now we're definitely doing it.
All right, don't beg. It's just...
No, please show us more how we're encapsulating you in your own fear about not being selected.
If you want to be selected, not based off of the merits of your proposal, you're going to have to give us something pretty compelling. And you already know what we want, which is to murder the ever-living shit out of Vanix. So, I think Death It has it in the bag, unless any of you want to sweeten the pot.
The imps look at each other in turn.
Okay, make a persuasion check.
Sure.
Absolutely not. If Death It is the strongest one of us, then he must be triumphed over last, lest we all look like fools and idiots. If you think I am the weakest one of all,
Trap It moves forward.
then surely you have no problem defeating Vanix's trapped nightmare,
Oh, I get it now. You're a pick-me-fit. Sorry, I hated that at the moment I said it. I was like,
It's fine. It's fine.
But perhaps I have a minor fear of rejection. But that isn't neither here nor there.
Oh,
If
where's Reject It?
Lesser primal.
Better than you.
Again, related to anxiety. But
get
Again,
trapped.
greater than you.
No, I am even better than, more fearful than anxiety. Anxiety is merely worry about, well, anything. I am a fear of being trapped.
But people literally make escape rooms just to have fun being trapped. Trap it.
Yes, but
That's
they
what you
know
have to
that they cannot,
understand.
they are not truly trapped in there. The escape room, does it have some sort of punishment if they are in there too long, except for humiliation and failure, looking stupid in front of your friends? No! I am being trapped with consequence, starvation, the failing of your bodily organs, the silence of being in your own mind. Perhaps, yes, that one, he points at Grabella. You. Somewhere in the back of your mind there's a stink, a pleasant one, of being trapped. Do you not remember? No, the quizzical look on your face tells me that you do not. Certainly you would fear if you were brought back for some inexplicable reason, but could not traverse the material so easily. Perhaps in the back of your mind there is a lingering fear that you have conveniently forgotten about. Why, when you die, Grabella, do they bury you?
I don't know.
I think you do. What is it like being buried under 500 pounds of dirt and rock when you reawaken? Do you try and claw your way out of your wooden sarcophagus? Do you grab your own neck as you struggle for air, but then realize you do not need it anymore? And once you figure out that you cannot escape your wooden prison, do you lie there with your own thoughts until the silence or the worms drive you mad?
I don't know.
Oh, I think you do. You just don't remember? If you think me such a fool, a lesser primal fear, then certainly you will have no problem with my nightmare.
I mean, I don't remember it, so I don't know why you're trying to scare me with it.
Then perhaps you might need just a little refresher. Why don't you all take a moment and just, well, writhe around in Grabella's subconscious a little bit and see what kind of horrors await there? She's got so many. She just doesn't recall them. A pity. They are character building, after all.
See, Trapper, where was this at the start? This is how you should have led off.
Trappet shrugs.
You think you can escape from, well, anything. But we can also sit here forever in this, he gestures, domicile together. And, well, if you do not die from starvation for a time, then perhaps you will realize that Trappet is worthy title of primal fear. For without acquiescing to all of our nightmares, you will never escape. You will never see Vanix. And the world that you have left behind, you will remember so differently. And you won't
Are
even
we
know it
killing
changed.
these guys or not?
D-Swap's gonna stand up and start clapping yes, this is what we wanted from you, Trappet. This was the pitch. But I think we're still gonna go with Death It.
Ah! Unforgivable.
You have nobody to blame but yourself. She's double look on Death It.
Deathit just shakes his head no.
You see? Deathit agrees. If you are so nonplussed by being trapped, you will not have a problem escaping with a quickness. Or we can sit here for another 2 hours, just bickering amongst one another who is the most powerful. Why, we could do this for all eternity. There is only one of you that does not need to eat or breathe, after all. The rest of you will starve and fade away. Ah, not feeling so spry now, are you? You realize you now are trapped in here with us.
Wangdoodle pulls a tablet out of his bag and just reads out loud. Steps to provide provisions for an extended journey, and starts, basically reading off the method for casting create food and water.
What is this? Magic, wandering food. Do
All
you
right.
not remember where you are? You are in the dreaming. You are but a memory. The food will not exist unless Arctis wills it, and he is sleeping. You will not fade away materially, no, just in memory. Those that you love and those that love you will just not remember you. As you struggle with deciding what fear you are not truly afraid of. Don't you have someone at home that loves you, Rain? Do they not feel loss when you are not around? Do you want them to forget that you exist?
I'm rather bored it. So take us. I don't care what nightmare we go to. I don't think we ever really did. But as we accomplish each of your nightmares in turn, just know that we remember all of this when you are all small, tiny fragments of a long-dead demon lord.
Oh, we will remember. Yes, yes. And we hope that you triumph over the greatest nightmare of all, Vanix. Yes, perhaps we could potentially be free to give nightmares of our own and grow fat and happy on the unhappiness of others. Certainly you would be so kind as to give us that, But we cannot be destroyed while Vanix exists.
Lead the way, Trappit.
No! Goody, you've changed your mind! Are you sure you don't want the tour first?
No, I don't.
Very well. Gather your allies. Unless you want to sit here a little longer, we could continue arguing. I do love this feeling of feigned freedom. Is it the fear that drives you? The realization that you are indeed trapped in here? Yes?
Oh, for crying out loud, it's the boredom. Please, Trappit, let's move this along, please.
Come along.
This was all cute when you were all cute little
A cute little Malört.
toothy-filled malls of machinations and nonsense, but
There's such a thing as overselling, Trappit.
1, 2, 3. You will not survive if you are all not here.
really, you do have to stop saying that.
What?
It's very rarely been the case when
What?
anybody has said that.
You must gather your party before venturing forth. Everyone knows that.
Grabella,
What?
the creepy little trap imp,
Ah,
would like to take us to
she's
his...
alt-tabbed.
Yeah.
You
The
probably
creepy
fell
little trap
asleep.
imp. We're over
Oh,
here to
no.
the southeast.
Starbuck, what did you do?
Oh no.
I'm reloading.
Oh
Starbuck
no.
decided I didn't need to be connected to the game.
Oh.
Aha,
I'm
she
glad
is
you're
trapped
alive,
in an
buddy,
internet
but
loop.
rude.
Ah, glorious.
Like Rebella got trapped in the shadow realm.
I got
Trap
trapped
imp definitely
in the
invented
Starbuck
Forge.
realm. Yeah. Okay. I should be back. What am I doing? Sorry.
Well, follow me.
Southeast.
Okay. Once I exist again, I will do this.
Ah, so you're trapped again. How does it feel?
Kind of fluffy.
No, it should feel terrible. Wrong answer.
I don't know. This is why I don't think a lot.
Ah, good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After you. Go on, there's no general in there, just generally a large amount of books. This archive was particularly interesting to Vanix, as the live recordings of one's life have been scribed. The book on the table, he points at the green book, should offer you a brief excerpt of what is to come, if any of you are brave enough to touch it.
But we have to touch it to start the nightmare.
Well, you must flip it open and see just what horrors lie within. Ah, yes. This passage is delightful. The graves of confinement. You awaken with a start, gasping for breath. Only cold, suffocating darkness surrounds you. Panic grips you as you realize the crushing weight of earth and stone pressing down on you from all sides. You are alive, yet dead, reborn as the living undead, trapped in a tomb that threatens to swallow you whole. Every movement feels like you're sinking, the soil pressing harder against you. The air is thin, the silence deafening, broken only by the restless spirits of the dead who stir in the darkness, trapped in eternal torment. If you all succeed in triumphing over this nightmare, Vanix will be weakened, and he will no longer have access to certain abilities. If you triumph over this, and your entire party does not die, you will remove the following ability from Vanix during your final encounter. Vanix's confinement. Vanix can cause walls of psychic energy to appear around creatures he targets. The walls last until the start of his next turn, restricting the creature's movement as if surrounded by an invisible barrier. The creature cannot move outside the 10-foot square it occupies. A part of Vanix, a general, lives inside here, and it's making the memories of Reborn quite terrible. Some of them waking up screaming, slowly losing their mind as they try to claw their way to the surface. Many reborn in the graves of confinement have been there for years. Some insane. Some have made their way out. Will you?
Yep.
Do you
Yeah,
wish?
no, I was totally paying attention.
Do you wish to proceed?
Might as well.
I mean, yeah, sure. That's what we're here for, right?
Your bravery is noted. One moment. One moment, the scene is loading.
Are your scenes loading slower than normal? You should consider our 3-year extended service plus contract.
Quite dark, isn't it? Why, none of you seem to be together. I don't think you will ever find each other again. Good luck.
As you all awaken, your eyes opening, you find your arms uncomfortably pressed to your sides. You are in a small wooden coffin, and the silence around you is deafening, only broken by what you might perceive as the worms crawling through the dirt. There's a bit of moisture seeping through the coffin, wondering if we're going to drown in here. The air is thick and musty, and for those of you that do still breathe, you're not sure how much air you actually have left. You're not sure how long you've been in here, but as you look at the ceiling and on the sides of the coffin, you see long claw marks. And as you glance down at your own fingernails, you see that many of them have been worn down to the skin. Some of them broken and shattered, bits of them stuck in the wood above you. And for those of you that have continued scratching, smears of blood can be seen on the roof of the coffin. We will start with Rain. Rain, there's not really a lot of room to move. Your shoulders press up against the wood on either side. You can loll your head from side to side, and there's a sore in the back of your head that is incredibly painful. You don't know how long you've been lying in the same position. And your heart picks up a little bit, as you don't know how much air is left often. What do you do?
You said there was a sore on the back of my head?
It's from, well, laying down in a wooden coffin for possibly too long, and kind of bring your arm up against your chest and touch the back of your head very gingerly. The sore from just resting your head upon the unyielding wood has given you quite the blister, and your fingertips come back moist with blood and other fluids your body has tried to produce to heal the wound. You do not see your friends. You do not know if they even exist.
We will try using our legs to just push up a little bit on the coffin lid in front of us, or above us.
Coffin is unnaturally tight. Make me an athletics check, please.
Athletics or acrobatics? If I'm
Definitely
trying to
athletics. You are trying to lift a heavy weight.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
You push your knees up against the roof. That is really all you can do right now. There is a groan of the old wood cracking as you give it a little bit of oomph. A tiny bit of moisture trickles down your leg, presumably from the heavy, wet mud that is 6 feet deep ahead of you.
Oh, God.
Aside from the wood groaning and a tiny, tiny crack appearing because the wood is so old, you do not break the lid of the coffin. Rebella. This is a memory from your rebirth. This is starting to come back to you very slowly as you open your eyes from the coffin. Your dark vision gives you a small amount of leeway as you glance around your rotted wood. You have been down here for a very long time. Perhaps you died a hero, at least you hope so. Can't remember why you died this time. The age of the wood around you and the decay that it's in tells you that you have been dead for quite some time. But now, it is time for you to rise again, stirred by an unknown force. They haven't made it easy this time, and perhaps they don't know that you perpetually come back. This time, you might have to claw your way to the surface. What do you do?
You said athletics was the role?
Oh, you can certainly try. Though if you have a better idea, you can give it a go.
Not.
Give me an athletics check then, Bella. And describe what you're going to do for me.
Pushing with arms and legs.
Against the roof?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was not good for me.
As you press your hands to the roof of your rotting coffin, you hear it crack and snap as you give it all of your mighty strength. You do feel that you can break your way out of this wood, considering its dilapidated state. But there is a weight, and as you try and push up, you notice that there is moisture coming in from the cracks of the wood. You have been buried under a significant amount of mud, and if you push a little bit harder, you might be able to break through. However, digging through 6 feet of mud is another story. Do you continue to push?
Yeah, I don't know that Grabella would have the thought to try anything else. Really shit at that today.
As you continue to push and really giving it your all, if this coffin lid was in any better state, you have a feeling you might not have the strength to actually break through it. But you get an idea. Instead of pushing against the mud, you grab one of the supporting joists that cross horizontally over the coffin lid, and you pull it into you. Your strength allows you to snap it almost clean off, and it hits you in the stomach with a bit of an oof. The weight of the mud above you causes the entire lid to creak ominously. You're not quite sure how many seconds you have left before the entire thing collapses on your face. We will go over to C-Swab.
Okay.
First off, C-Swab, you are not reborn. I'm gonna have you make a Constitution saving throw, please. C-Swab, you awaken in a coffin. This is certainly a better, well, a way to go as opposed to a sailor's burial, being tossed overboard into the ocean and eaten by the various marine life. But as you find yourself in a very fresh and very strong coffin, the wood unyielding, unrotted, the rivets that have nailed these boards across the top of the wood, solid and unrusted. You are a fresh death. What do you do?
So C-Swab would probably first make an attempt to communicate with everybody via the mind link.
There is no link here.
Okay, so then he'd be like, okay, alrighty. Cut off from everybody. Right in here. I think I would next attempt to I would make one good solid attempt to push the lid open.
Okay. Make me an athletics check, please. Yep. C-Swab, you press your hands against the roof and give it a big push. Lucky for you, your coffin isn't nailed down particularly well. And some of the nails that have hung on slide out easily as you push up on the lid of the coffin. However, what rolls in is thick waves of congealed black mud, and the crack that you have made with your hands and legs is quickly replaced by the cold feeling of mud washing over your body. It fills your ears, and you cannot lift your head enough to stymie the flow. C-Swab, you are now considered deafened, as half of the coffin is now full of mud. You cannot lift your head without your forehead pressing against the wood. You also cannot hear anything. You sit and think about what you might do next. You continue pushing the lid of the coffin, it might completely fill with mud. We'll go over to Wangdoodle. Wangdoodle, your small body is in a medium-sized coffin. You have a little bit more room to wiggle around in. The coffin is put together so haphazardly, you wonder if you've died a hero's death, or if somebody just found your corpse on the side of the road and threw it in a box to prevent you from stinking. It is an artificery nightmare. Somebody could have put this together a little bit better. And if you test the link, there is silence. What do you do?
Well, this is probably about as good as I could afford. If I happen to have just dropped dead. So this kind of works. Do I have my woodworker's tools still?
Yes, you've been buried with them.
Ah, good. I'd like to study this box to see if there's any structural weak points.
Okay. Absolutely. You know what? Since you're an artificer, you can make it with advantage. Roll again.
No. We'll just go ahead and do that twice then. I'm so glad we did.
You try to play to your strengths, but you consider, being trapped in here is not super great. And as you look at the ramshackle box, It's not the box that you're worried about as you give things a cursory poke and test for moisture and density. It is the moisture on the upper side of the coffin that has you concerned, considering its shitty, ramshackle state. There is a significant amount of wet mud on top of it, and loosening the wrong board can cause the whole thing to come crashing down on your head, smothering you to death.
You know, I think this is probably going to be a good time to get a friend of mine to help us out here. And I am going to use my Artificer Infusion to summon a Homunculus.
Okay, I actually do have a Homunculus prepared for you. There he is. Wingdoodle, describe the appearance of your Homunculus servant.
This is, this Homunculus looks like a, if you could imagine, a, Weavern version of Wangdoodle. We would call this one the, first draft experiment. Didn't come out exactly right, but, you know, there's some purpose to it.
Alright, the Wangdoodle-esque wyvern sits at the bottom of your coffin and looks at you expectantly.
Alright, look, we're gonna have to do some deconstruction and some modification to start making some shovels. But I need you to do a structure report. Make sure that we're not, you know, killing ourselves.
Yep.
Again.
Your wyvern chirps happily and does a small spin in the lower body of the coffin. We will move a moment as you figure your things out. Kongzlo. Where did I put Kongzlo? There's Kongzlo.
Hello.
Hello, Kongzlo. As with the rest of your friends, you have found yourself in a coffin. Your small green body is cushioned on a pile of old moss that has long grown dry. As you awaken, there's a crunchy sound underneath you and an earthy smell that fills the very stale air. Beads of water are drip, drip, dripping on your head through a small crack in the lid of your coffin. What do you do?
Been trying to think what Kongzlo would do in this situation because he's not exactly very strong. And water is dripping through, you said?
Mm-hmm. Your lid is... actually, give me an investigation check. The lid of your coffin is not very well put together, and in the seam that is almost directly above your head, about a finger-sized gap. What isn't filled completely with wet, thick mud is dripping dark brown water upon your head in a steady drip, 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 drip.
Seems like mud above me.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have any of my items with me?
you have all of your items. They have been buried with you in honor of, well, being a green finger.
All right. There's an item that I remember having that. Okay. I will apply this oil of etherealness to myself.
All right. You gain the effect of the etherealness spell for an hour. You step into the border regions of the ethereal plane in the area where it overlaps with your current plane. You remain in the border ethereal for the duration until you use your action to dismiss the spell. You move in any direction, up, down. Every foot of movement costs an extra foot. You can see and hear the plane you originated from, but everything looks gray and you cannot see anything more than 60 feet away. Alright, Kongzlo, you're now a ghost. Instead of dying for real, you've died for fake.
Kongzlo will attempt to ghost his way up.
Every foot of movement will cost you 2. So getting up from prone will be half your movement, as you are currently prone. And let's see, you're buried under 6 feet of mud. If you were alive, this would have been a terrible thing, but quickly quaffing the potion. You will your ghostly self to rise up out of the layers of tightly packed mud that is dripping with heavy, heavy rain. You move ever so slowly in the mud you cannot see through. You pass a couple worms and bugs along the way. Eventually, you reach the surface. Kongzlo, you find yourself in a graveyard, floating along with the other recently buried dead. The graveyard looks in a terrible state. Fences broken down, torn off the hinges. The trees long dead and just waiting to be chopped down. Many of the sarcophagi have been violated, presumably by grave robbers. And some of the effigies that are used to honor the dead are broken, shattered, as you look at it as an artificer, by hammers, as grave robbers want to get to the treasures within. A steady bit of rain falls from above you, and the ground is yielding, extremely wet. It squelches underneath your feet. You do not see your friends, just darkness and marked and unmarked graves. One moment. We'll return to Rain. Rain, pushing at the lid, has, well, not really yielded many results, just has told you that you are under something extremely wet. What do you do?
Yeah, that went about as well as we expected it to. So we're going to instead we're going to kind of trace a rune on the lid of the coffin and cast scroll wheel, please work with me. We're gonna cast polymorph on ourselves.
Okay. What do you turn into?
We are going to turn into, because I was hoping to get a read of how deep I was by just pushing on the lid. So we're gonna play it safe. We're gonna transform into an earthworm.
Would you love me if I were a worm?
Oh, I got a lovely
No.
patch of dirt here for you.
Rain, you mutter some words and transform yourself into a simple earthworm.
Because you also said, like, the roof of my coffin is kind of, like, cracked in places, so...
Possibly small enough for a worm to crawl through. Though, how does a worm on the ground get to the roof?
The same way they get anywhere, they climb. Like worms do.
Rainworm, make me...
Rainworm.
Make me an acrobatics check with advantage, as you are now in your wormy element. With advantage, please. There we go. A 17. Ah, the finally, you return to the moistness. As you crawl your tiny way across the bottom of the coffin, you inch your way up the sides. Eventually, you get to the crack. It's just at the corner, tip-top of your coffin. And you squeeze your spineless way through the crack. It might take a little bit for you to get to the surface as you start gobbling up mounds and mounds of hasty, fertile mud. You'll get there.
3 hours later.
Eventually. Let's go back over to Grabella. Grabella. You are certain you are buried under at least 6 feet of thick, heavy mud. What do you do?
Mm-hmm. I mean, there is not a whole, well, there's not a whole lot Grabella can do other than what she's doing. Athletics it is.
Athletics it is.
Less.
You reach up at about head level at another crossbar that is supposed to strengthen the lid of your coffin, and you give it a good yank. The rest of the coffin creaks loudly, and suddenly you find yourself smothered by 500 pounds of mud as it comes crashing through the lid of the coffin in waves. Everything in the coffin quickly fills with wet, liquidy mud from toe to head. You are currently blinded. You cannot see through mud. But you have broken through the lid. You may not need to see or breathe, but you're hoping you are not trapped in a muddy prison for the rest of your existence. You continue to claw your way to the top.
Yeah.
Right. Give me one more athletics check. You fail this. Oh, if you fail this, you claw blindly, pulling yourself up from the coffin that is now full of mud, and you find yourself surrounded, disoriented, on all sides from thick and heavy mud. It presses down on your head, it gets in your ears and your nose and your mouth and your eyes, and you cannot see. Grabella, you're now deafened. The mud is leaked into you. And you have 1 level of exhaustion. If you if you amass too much exhaustion, you will die. Hopefully, you can continue to crawl your way out of the mud, but it will be difficult as it is now smothering you from all sides, pressing your arms to your sides. we will go back up to Sea Swab. Sea Swab, you find yourself deafened. Now you cannot hear any sort of squelching noises the mud is making. What do you do? Sea Swab, are you muted?
No, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. I'm thinking here. I'm debating if I want to go high risk, high reward.
Mm-hmm. Go on.
So I have mud coming in on me.
You do.
Is the mud like a thick mud?
Very, very thick, but also kind of sloppy, as if the water running on it is continually running. Since you're a storm sorcerer, I'll give you this, that it's most likely raining, causing this to be extra heavy, laden with water.
Appears to be raining. I think I'm going to... Man, I do not have a lot of good options right now. Not looking good for the swab here.
You hear Trappet giggling in the back of your head.
Just give up.
Alright, so because it is raining and it's watery, to give me a... I'm going to... Alrighty, I'm going to... Sea Swab is going to... Man. Alrighty. I'm going to... Alright, I'm going to try and Alright, I would like to try to remove... like, the... a nail or like a piece of wood off the coffin.
Okay. Which piece? If you look at the back of the roof of the coffin, there are 4 crisscrossing boards, each with 3 nails in them. Excuse me, the longest one has 4 nails in it.
Okay, I want to take a piece that is not that's gonna be like the thinnest sliver that will let in mud.
Okay.
Like, I'm not trying to break off a whole board, I'm just trying to break off like a solid chunk of board.
Do you plan on doing this with your bare hands?
Let me see if I have anything that'll help me here. I was gonna try to use my... I want to use like the butt of my crossbow to try and like jimmy a piece off.
Okay. Give me a... Give me a sleight of hand check with advantage.
With advantage, sorry.
One more roll. Take the better of them. You place the butt of the crossbow on the corner of the coffin lid, just underneath, at about waist height, where 3 nails are embedded in the wood. You give it a good pry, enough to see the body of the nail, and loosen up the thinner piece of wood that is on the southern end of your coffin. Additional mud begins to slide on in from the finger-sized crack. And you are worried with the current flow of mud. There will be a point where only your beak is pointing out and allowing you to breathe, but it has not reached that level yet. As you put your finger in that tiny little crack, all you feel is packed, muddy earth. And it's not really stemming the flow. Sea Swab, we will come back to you. Wangdoodle, your homunculus servant looks at you eagerly. What are your orders?
Alright, I need you to go out onto the top side of this thing and find a plank that we can use to start creating kind of a, for lack of a better term, a slanted roof. We need to make some space and avoid cavitation.
Chirp. The homunculus servant looks around. There are no, large holes in your coffin. How do you propose he exits?
Of course, it's a random shackle thing, and this tiny servant can't find a way out. Okay. Wangdoodle will use his woodworking tools to find one of the larger gaps between the boards and throw a jam between them to start to crack them loose and give the homunculus enough space to get out.
Okay. Give me a sleight of hand check with advantage. Damn good roll. You are calculating just based on average burial depth, and due to the shitty status of the wood, you're thinking that if you crack it open at the bottom and allow it to fill from foot to head, that would give you and your homunculus servant just enough time to reach the surface and find a plank. You might have to still dig yourself out, but the hard part might be past. Do you pull the plank at the foot of your coffin lid?
Yes, and I will work as quickly as I can for about, say 12 seconds to hastily fashion it towards a shovel.
Okay. Quickly, you pull off that strengthening crossbar, and eventually there's a creaking sound as the shitty wood of the lid cannot take the weight of the mud and cracks at your feet. There's one last chirp as the homunculus servant is suddenly covered in a deluge of mud that is filling your coffin. As you try and push away the mud that is sopped up by your feet, you are very quickly making a ramshackle shovel in order to push some of that mud back out of the way. Your homunculus servant disappears, digging quickly into the fresh mud. You hope he will be successful in finding a plank. Wing Doodle, can you see through your homunculus's eyes?
Yes.
He digs himself to the surface, and click on him. See what he sees.
Yep, I can see him just fine. Can't see me right now, but that's okay. We're not focused on me right now. We're focused on the homunculus.
The state of this graveyard is long disrepair. And aside from the dead trees and the defiled graves, there's not much around. Lots of stone, twists of gnarled steel, the dead branches of a dead tree to the west. The coffin that houses Wangdoodle is unmarked and buried under 6 feet of mud. And as your homunculus servant looks down, there's a very big and audible bubble that warps up as the air that was in the coffin reaches the surface.
Is this some of the steel that's across the ground?
It is.
The homunculus will try to drag that back to the hole.
Right. Your homunculus gets to work, finding the nearest curve of wrought iron that has been pulled apart by defilers, and brings it back to the sopping, wet area where you have been. We will return to Kongzlo. Kongzlo, you are a ghost. Ethereal and spiritual, you see the world as a slightly hazy reflection of what it actually is. A set of stairs is to the northwest, and more bent and broken fencing can be seen to the south. What do you do?
You had said before that some of the graves looked like, at least the nearby graves, said that they looked like they'd been damaged.
Mm-hmm. There are 2 stone sarcophagi very close to you. One that had an ornate statue at one point, but it's been so defiled it's hard to tell what it is. And another one with a stone lid with a very visible crack in it, presumably made by a sledgehammer from grave robbers.
Do any of the graves, like the dirt graves, look disturbed?
Make me a perception check, please.
I'm so good at those.
Ooh. They've been here for a long, long time. You don't think they've been disturbed at all. In fact, this graveyard probably hasn't seen a living soul in well over 100 years.
Okay, well, first things first, I'm gonna will myself back into the regular plane.
Okay.
I can see normally.
You are a fully formed goblin. The ground is comfortably squelching underfoot. It reminds you of home.
I can see... I'm assuming this is... I'm not sure why there's a... Oh, that's the grave that I came out
That's
of.
the grave.
Yeah. I can see that I came out of... I came out of the dirt, right?
You did. You floated up and out of the dirt. It is otherwise undisturbed.
Okay. Can I explore... Can I examine... Since I didn't disturb my grave at all, can I look over it for any indicating factors? Anything that stands out about it versus the other ones that are nearby?
Yeah, make me an investigation check. As you look around the grass and squish some of it underneath your toes, you look down at the grave. There is a set of muddy footprints that leads almost directly south, but it's disappearing very quickly as the rain makes the terrain malleable. The footprints go from your coffin to the south.
I will follow the footprints as far as I can.
Go ahead and move just up to your movement, about 30 feet. There is a mound of, as you walk down through the gloom, of freshly turned earth that is slightly different than the other earth around it. The footsteps go directly to the turned earth. Rain, I'm going to skip you as you are a worm and you are slowly making your way up and out of the ground. Rebella, panic has started to seep in as you are trying to claw your way out of the muddy earth. You cannot see, you cannot hear, as mud is filling every possible orifice in your head. Make me an athletics check, but with disadvantage.
Oops. Ignore. Oh, no, it did it.
Yeah, it did it.
Weird. Okay.
The mud is thick and your arms feel heavy. Don't say mom's spaghetti.
Hello, spaghetti.
You start to lose your sense of direction as the exhaustion is slowly taking over. Perhaps it would be just easier for the mud to take you. Rebella, you gain another level of exhaustion. Your speed is halved. Note that if you hit 6 levels of exhaustion, you will die.
We try again.
You'll have to try again. Oh, next turn.
Oh, next turn. Sorry.
See, Swab. We're coming back up to you.
Okay. How big was the hole that I made?
About the width of a finger.
The width of a finger. And was I able to pry a nail out at all?
Yeah, you've managed to get a nail out from that long piece of wood that you've gotten.
Okay. I would like to first... I have a... Where is it? I'm going to use a potion of water breathing just in case the muddy water gets a little too heavy.
Okay. You hope that will have an effect, as
I hope it does.
the mud will most likely smother you, as you cannot breathe mud.
And then I'm going to take my nail and through that little hole, just want to make sure this can work here. I'm going to take my nail. Let's go with 2. Now I'm just going to send it. I'm going to try and catapult this nail through the hole to try and make like a... Make it, hopefully it hits something, makes a hole for me.
Okay. Do you want to... Where do you want to send it? Straight up?
Straight up.
Okay.
I don't have a lot of the toolkit everybody else has. I'm trying to make do here.
Seaswab, holding the nail in your hand, and you hold it by the head with the tip pointing up, kind of wiggle it just in that muddy crack that you've made, and the cold mud starts pouring over your hand. Close your eyes. And you will the nail to shoot up, catapulted up and out like a rocket. And all you hear is just as suddenly it goes straight up. I'm gonna have the Homunculus servant and Kongzlo make me a perception check.
I'm so good at those.
Please, Kongzlo, you can see it.
Kongzlo does not see it.
Kongzlo barely sees that he's like alive at the moment.
Please, Homunculus, see it.
Please, Homunculus.
Just little baby Wangdoodle.
One perception check from the Homunculus, please.
You got it. As soon as I figure out where it is.
Should be on the left side. Perception +4.
Oh, +4.
Oh, good.
Oh, Billy.
Average.
The Homunculus servant hears some sort of strange rattling or squelching from the northwest.
Something up over that way.
Somewhere in that direction.
Oh, good. Even better.
The Homunculus servant, Wangdoodle, has drug a large piece of wrought iron over to the bubbling blub that is currently filling the coffin. The mud has come down around your ankles, and you have been keeping it at bay with the shovel. But your strength will eventually run out, and the mud will overwhelm you. What do you do?
We will instruct the Homunculus to jam the wrought iron through the bubbling hole it created to get out.
What?
And Wangdoodle will use that to try to climb his way through.
Flapping his tiny wings, he drags over the piece of wrought iron across the wet ground and angles it just so the tip of it falls into the bubbling, burbling pit that is the muddy place you have been buried. The wrought iron sticks out, just the tip of it, from the 6-foot hole that you are buried in, and you hear the delightful thump of the metal hit the bottom of the wooden casket as the Homunculus angles it in. Do you wish to use the rod to try and climb up out of the mud?
I would indeed, yes.
Make me an athletics check with advantage.
Oh, good, because I'm so good at these. I'm a mathlete, not an athlete.
Wangdoodle's your will to live, perhaps, but also your ingenuity. In one hand, your shovel, as you put it between the tines on this twisted piece of metal, use it kind of as a quasi-step, as you lurch yourself out and up from the mud. You are momentarily blinded and deafened as the mud fills your eyes and ears and your mouth, and you hold your breath, hopefully long enough, in order to not be smothered. Make me a Constitution save, Wangdoodle. Nice save. Like the undead, your head breaches the surface. Tiny pieces of grass trying to grow, thrown asunder. You finally blink your eyes open and wipe the goggles, and you see your Homunculus servant dancing on the tip of the rod he has put into the ground, as he is very delighted to see you. You are covered in mud from head to toe, and a steady stream of rain falls from above you. So the homunculus servant points with a wing somewhere to the northwest as he has heard something concerning.
Wangdoodle will finish clearing his eyes and scooping the mud out from the inside of his goggles. Will go with the homunculus in the direction he's pointing.
Okay, you can move your movements of up to 30 feet. Wangdoodles, you walk a little bit more towards the west. You see the ruins of a dilapidated church. The roof has fallen over, long disused. The spire cracked in a place right down the center of it. The rest of the church is made up of broken bricks and walls that are almost too crumbly to even be considered a building. We will return back to Kongzlo, the ghost that is no longer a ghost, as you see a mound of freshly turned earth and footsteps leading to the south.
Alright. Well, I see the freshly turned earth. I'm assuming that my friends are in a similar situation I have, but quite honestly, it's disappointing that they didn't think to have an oil of etherealness just handy in their pockets this whole time, just in case they found themselves buried in an unmarked grave somewhere. Really got to be better prepared.
How inconvenient, honestly.
What was I thinking?
Well, I know one way to excavate in a hurry. And in fact, I'm gonna try to basically get as close as I can, which I guess is about here.
You can go your 30 feet. Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to lob a shatter grenade at the pile of loose dirt.
All right. Kongzlo, go ahead and lob a grenade directly on top of Rain.
All right, I'm blowing Rain up. Probably about to kill Worm Rain.
Rain, you are a worm, and you fail your guts. You succeed on your con save for keeping your polymorph. However, you fail the one that will, prevent you from taking so much damage. Rain, you are a worm, and as a worm, you are very sensitive to the trembles and tremblings of the earth. You feel footsteps. Something is coming closer. But you're still so deep into the ground as you are eating as much dirt as wormily possible in order to reach the surface. There is silence as the footstep stops stepping closer to you.
I love that 100% of the time Kongzlo ever tries to help any of my characters out, it results in me taking a shitload of fucking damage.
However,
literally, I am worse off 100% of the time after Kongzlo helps with anything. This is true for Rain and
Welcome
Azrael.
to the club.
Amazing.
I'm helping!
Well, Rain is not a worm anymore.
Rain Worm is shot into the air At high velocity, as a mound of freshly turned earth is suddenly shattered, bits of dirt fly everywhere. Kongzlo is actually a very fantastic explosion, honestly, considering the moisture level of the earth. Rain, you are thrown as a worm.
No.
Oh.
Rain's not a worm anymore. Rain worm was disintegrated.
As the worm flies into the air, it lands as a different being. As rain hits the ground, your ears are ringing. And, well, you don't have to concentrate on polymorph anymore. And a very satisfied-looking Kongzlo stands to your north.
What the...
I saved you!
Rain,
The fuck, Kongzlo?
you cough out a large
What?
glob of mud.
I think we're all buried in graves like this. Help me blow up the other ones.
Why are you blowing up everything?
Well, I don't have a shovel.
You're an artificer! Rain's just like shouting at you because she can't fucking hear.
Meanwhile, in Grabella's grave, Grabella, you're starting to become disoriented. You're not quite sure which way is up anymore as the mud is pressing in on you from all sides. You might be buried here for a long time. Do you continue desperately trying to claw your way to the surface? Or do you try a different approach?
Bella doesn't have any fancy things or stuff to try that I can think of, so.
Okay, if you wish to try, it's with disadvantage. 14's pretty good. Grabella, as you continue to claw at the cold dirt, trying to right yourself, you find a tiny bit of footing on the edge of your coffin, and use that to right yourself. As you try and point your head due north, your hand pops out of the ground in a very stereotypically undead-looking fashion. You manage to get yourself up and out of the mud. Although, I'm going to give you are no longer blinded as you finally wipe the dirt out of your eyes, but you currently cannot hear as there's too much mud packed in your ears to hear anything. You do not see your friends, and you see yourself in a dilapidated graveyard. A crumbling statue to your northeast has been overgrown by moss and roots, and other shattered sarcophagi lie scattered around in stony bits all around you. You do not see your friends. What remains of a path can be seen to the east, though it is muddy and unused. Equally dilapidated stairs can be seen directly to your east.
Grabella at this time is just gonna lay on the ground.
You feel your strength sapped. Was this one of your memories? You find yourself coping with the fact that if you die and are buried, do you have to do this every time? And perhaps sometimes you are not so lucky. We will return back to the north, the Sea Swab. You hope your catapulted nail has resulted in some sort of attention, but otherwise mud continues to flow into the bottom of your coffin. It has now reached almost eye level. It has completely covered your ears, though your beak prominently sticks out of the mud. You'll be blinded next round, and smothered the round after that. What do you do?
Alrighty, I'm going to try and make some noise to hopefully that they can hear me, because I'm all out of ideas. So...
Do you begin to scream?
Nope, I'm going to thunderclap.
Oh!
Hell yeah.
Boom! It can be heard up to 100 feet away. Do a little measurement. Second. I'm looking for your allies, but it's fucking dark!
Well, whose fault is that?
It's mine. 100.
I believe Darket's fault, actually. Sure is a nice thunderclap you got there. Too bad I can't hear it due to the ruptured eardrums.
Kongzlo, make me a perception check with advantage. Rain, make me one with disadvantage. Grabella, you cannot make this as you are currently deafened.
Oh,
Yeah, Grabella is just letting everything seep out of her, which is now a sentence that I've said.
And Wangdoodle will make a perception check with advantage. I know he had to take off.
Is anybody else unable to actually select advantage or disadvantage on skill checks right now?
yeah.
Yeah, it's rolling
yeah.
automatically. I believe the
Okay.
modifier is shift.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
I had to change a couple settings in order to get some of the automation to work better. Rain, as you have clawed your way out of the ground, your ears are ringing, but you swear you hear a second thunderclap coming directly from the northwest. Though as you look up, there is no flash in the sky. It was certainly not naturally occurring thunder.
Kongzlo, this way. Did you hear that?
Huh?
Big boom.
Big bada boom.
You're gonna have to speak up. I just made a large explosion.
Rain glares at you. I'm going to take so much of my anger at you out on this fucking aspect of Vanix.
Rain, you find yourself at the bottom of some very worn out stone stairs.
Does Rain see any, like, displaced earth or anything from whatever that explosion might have been?
Make me a perception check with disadvantage.
Shift did not work, but FYI.
Oh, I know what the modifier is here real quick.
It's all good. I can keep doing this.
I mean, I need to figure it out, so. Control is disadvantage. Alt is advantage.
Oh, okay, so they're different. Cool. Good to know. I'm deceiving the dirt. Poorly.
Rain, although you do not see any turned dirt, you hear the sound of something metal falling on stone. It's small, sharp. Perhaps a nail? Tink, 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 tink.
What is stone around? I guess we'll go to this stone-ish looking sarcophagus. Did I see anything having dinked off of it? Or dinking on it?
As you look over the sarcophagus, you find a nail in the grass. It is not rusted. It's in fact a very clean nail, although it is covered in a little bit of wet mud. Looking around, there are no other nails in the area.
Kongzlo?
Huh?
Just let this happen, okay?
Huh?
Exactly. Turnabout's fair play.
What?
What?
Rain casts polymorph on Kongzlo,
Okay, what do you turn Kongzlo into?
turning him into a giant ape.
Wonderful.
Kongzlo, do you let this happen?
Yes, I'm trying to find the option to fail.
If you click off, I think it fails now.
Okay. Giant ape. Polymorph.
Hold on, I have something.
Oh my god.
All right.
What?
Oh my god. I
It's
hate this so
entirely
much.
possible that Kongzlo is much wiser as a giant ape, actually, than regular Kongzlo.
It's true,
Yes,
he has a big
And
brain.
probably comparatively intelligent.
Kongzlo, giant apes do not have dark vision, so you cannot see.
I can't see a friggin' thing.
That's fine. Here, Rain takes you by the hand, puts you right next to this grave. Start digging.
Kongzlo will like try to figure out. Like he definitely doesn't realize that he's a giant ape now.
Rain literally takes you by the hand, puts your hands like right here. There's a grave. Start digging.
Why do you feel so small?
Amazing. Because you're really big. I made you really big.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
You want me
fine.
to dig right here?
Yes, right here. Got a little bit of a New Jersey accent there with your ape.
We have Southern Gentleman Kongzlo and fucking Jersey
Jersey
Shore Ape Kongzlo.
He knows how
Wanna go
to.
get a pork roll later? A Taylor ham?
I can always switch Gabella to my New Jersey voices to make it better.
Oh my god.
Amazing.
Okay, Kongzlo will begin digging.
Okay. Kongzlo, make me an apeletics check.
Athletics.
You got a +6 strength.
Woo!
So, there we go.
Oh lord, he digging.
Oh my god, I'm so strong!
You punch madly. You punch huge fucking hands
Fuck
into
this
the
dirt.
earth.
Fuck this dirt!
You're just bringing up huge mounds of dirt and throwing them everywhere. You throw them fucking to the south, you throw them like to the north, and Gorbella, you see like some dirt like raining down on this statue over here. As the ape continues just digging and digging and digging, he's digging, he's digging. Meanwhile,
Diggy hole!
I don't want to know what's going on. I'm just gonna lay here and let everything out.
Sea Swab, the mud has finally crept over your eyes. You are currently blinded. Your beak sticks out, giving you just enough room to breathe, though now the coffin feels absolutely smothering. Surely someone heard the thunderclap, unless they too are having the issue of their coffin filling with mud, drowning out all of the sounds and cries for help. What do you do?
Shows a chair right now.
Sorry.
Surely someone will come to help you, right?
Grabella will stand up and try to find out what's going on.
Hello?
Can I use like an ability like just to displace the mud for a temporary time?
What ability?
So warding wind is a strong wind at 20 miles an hour.
You're not sure that's going to push back 6 feet of mud.
I'm just gonna send one more thunderclap and hope somebody hears it.
Okay. Boom! Rain. Giant ape. Not Grabella. Make me a perception check, please. Good job, Giant Ape. You're too busy working the dirt, digging it out of the ground in order to hear that thunderclap.
Even with a +4, Kongzlo cannot make a perception check.
Our rolls are all over tonight, man.
Rain, even though it is raining, you hear another strange clap of thunder that is not preceded by any lightning. You just hear boom, rumble, rumble. There's no flash in the sky either. And considering how close they were together, and potentially close to you, this might be magical thunder.
Do I have any better pinpoint of where it came from?
Somewhere to the north.
North. Like, close north or far north?
Far north.
Oh, okay. Rain hops up on Kongzlo's back. Hi-ho, Silver, over here. Let's go this way.
When are we not digging anymore?
Well, we're probably gonna keep digging, but we gotta go somewhere else. I don't think this is it. Come on,
Alright,
come on,
I can't see a fucking thing.
Right. Rain is like literally carrying him by what is now like mud-soaked hands. Come on, let's go.
What in the hell is that?
Oh, Grabella, come along.
Grabella cannot hear you. Grabella, you are currently still deafened until you decide to shake that mud out of your ears.
Grabella will take a shake. She does see them though, so she's gonna shake and walk like some sort of weird dance.
Grabella, make me a medicine check, please.
Oh god. That's not gonna go well.
You are still deafened for a short period of time. You try and get all the mud out of your ears with a pinky.
Where did you go? I can't hear.
We're over here, Grabella, come on.
Yeah, I can't hear.
She cannot hear you.
You can see! Rain shouts back.
I cannot see you guys either. You went out of my sight.
Amazing. See,
No, there you are. Jesus Christ, what is that?
Is there any dirt that looks displaced up here from multiple thunderclaps?
Rain, make me an investigation check, please.
Please.
Woo!
Oh my god.
Rain, you...
Nope, don't see anything.
There are some footprints that are quickly disappearing in the wet grass that go even further to the north, around the west side of this dilapidated church.
Well, it's supposed to be a church. Okay.
And you swear you hear a familiar kobold voice. It's got to be around here somewhere.
Oh, Wagdoodle.
Rain?
Yeah, I'm over here by the gigantic ape.
Go around the north part of the church. Rain, there is a gap in the church.
Where's Kongzlo?
Grabella's just gonna loudly say right next to the ape because she can't
Hello,
hear.
I'm big now.
I don't see you, Wagdoodle.
Over here.
You're gonna have to be more specific.
To the north.
Not this way.
Grabella will push Rain back.
Don't go that way.
Grabella,
Oh.
you peer into the church, and aside from the broken flooring that is showing some of the muddy ground below, hidden in an alcove, crawling around in its own darkness, you see a twisted figure. It is huddled in its own darkened wings. Gray skin is tightly bound around its form. A whip-like tail gives you an idea that this might be some sort of demon. It is shrouded with night and has only 2 long fingers on each hand. It looks like it might be currently waiting or resting, and does not seem to see you as you pass by the open part of the church. No.
Here, but I'm gonna stop yelling.
All right,
Let's
so
stop yelling.
it seems like we're looking for Sea Swab then. If Wangdoodle's out, or Wangdoodle, were you making all the ruckus?
Yeah, I was, I heard this loud bang.
Oh, so did we.
Oh, how fortuitous.
Corbella's gonna shake like mad again.
And I've got this large Kongzlo 8.
Hello.
So, where's Sea Swab? We need to find Sea Swab.
He points at the dirt that has like a small upturned piece of earth out of it. I think he's still under there.
Perfect. Kongzlo 8, come. This way.
Okay.
I still can't hear.
Sea
But
Swab,
there's a big thing in the church. Let's be careful.
the cold mud starts to get just a bit over your beak level. You're now breathing out of just a tiny, tiny hole from your pursed beak. It has filled your eyes and your ears, and the mud is so cold. You suffer a level of exhaustion. All your skill checks will be made with disadvantage. Panic begins to seep in. Perhaps they will not find you. Giant ape, what are you doing?
Diggy hole.
Make me an athletics check with advantage, giant ape. Holy. Two-handed now. You begin to dig earth. Just like a dog, you dig it from underneath, between your legs. Wet mud.
This is kind of fun.
Where did we find this thing?
Oh, that's Kongzlo. Oh, Grabella, hang on. Rain helps Grabella clean out her fucking ears.
Corbella
so
is
she
just
can
like
hear.
slapping the side of her head, trying to get stuff out to no avail. Probably pushing it in front.
Giant ape reaches. His fingertips scrape across the wood of the coffin.
Hey, I found something.
Make me another athletics check if you want to pry it open, giant ape. Oh yeah, he is doing it. Sea Swab, the mud comes over your beak. This is it. You're going to drown in here. In mud.
It's an old coffin. It's somebody completely different. It wasn't even me.
Giant ape, you tear off the lid of the coffin. Sea Swab, all you see is his beak. You grab him by the shoulder and lift him out. Sea Swab, you are blind. You cannot see anything, but a giant fist, bigger than even Grabella's hand, wraps around your shoulder and uproots you like some sort of noxious weed. Dripping with mud, the giant ape holds you aloft as you cough and sputter. You manage to
I definitely am gonna hold Sea Swab like over my head, like Legend of Zelda just opened a chest style, and just like
Da-da-da-da.
Or like Donkey Kong
yeah.
throwing a barrel.
Sea Swab,
What in the actual heck is happening?
your bird feet dangle off the ground and you wipe your eyes and you see, oh thank goodness, the familiar faces of your friends. The mud has filled your ears and you see Grabella's mouth moving, but you can't hear anything but...
Familiar faces, give or
Yeah.
take.
Wait
Yeah.
a minute.
But then
Hold up,
you-
Christina.
But I'm
please.
saying
Let's
he's-
be serious.
Giant ape is holding him like towards Grabella and Rain and Wangdoodle. It's like, who? And then he gets a second to like turn around and you are being held up by the shoulder by a giant fucking white ape.
I think I found Sea Swab.
I am so confused. This is Kongzlo.
Hello. I'm big now.
I don't know how I feel about this. This could be the worst thing we've ever done.
So we have Whale Doodle, and now we have Cause Ape. Coslate?
And
I don't
then-
know.
Big Mommy Grabella sometimes.
Kongzlo 8-finger.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Please never say that string of words in a sentence there ever again.
Kongzlo Kong.
This is
Kongzlo.
Kongzlo.
Oh my
there.
god.
That's good. Whale Doodle and Kongzlo. This is his penance for blowing me up. So now he's a giant ape.
I saved you, probably.
You cannot hear him as all you hear is oh, ah, ah, ah. Oh.
Oh yeah, that's the
Get
best
down!
part. He's talking to us this whole time, and he's just making grunts and shit.
Let me down.
Do you put
I
C-Swab
will
down?
Put C-Swab down. Yeah.
In C-Swab. You cannot hear C-Swab. There's just mud absolutely packed in your ears. You can make me a medicine check to try and shake some of it out. Oh, God, it's stuck in there. Probably some pebbles, maybe a worm or two. You feel exhausted and cold.
No, I don't do
Sorry, what? Say again?
making a bonfire.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm not doing damage, I'm just placing it.
Alright, C-Swab, you make a sufficient bonfire. I'm gonna give you some light here. Not bonfire light.
I don't know why it made me do that.
Oh, because he put it underneath your feet.
Oh, well, Grabella can't really get too burned anyway. So it's fine.
Well,
Amazing. He just done damage to Grabella and Kongzlo with a still.
there is something terrible in the church, so we should be careful.
Oh, that's
looked
probably
like
the thing we want to kill, right?
It looked like a demon devil thing. Is that what we're after?
Probably. It sounds
Some of this
odd
dream
brand.
stuff melts my brain a little. I don't remember what we're doing.
Yeah, you look a little rough, Grabella. Are you okay?
I am not. I need a nap.
Grabella, you do have a good idea of what's going on. This is definitely a memory of yours that has been forgotten in one of your rebirths. This is not the first time you've had to crawl your way out of the ground, but it's been such a traumatizing thought that you've repressed it.
Also, I think this is mine somehow. I don't know how to express what that means. And I think this is my memory.
It
But I
wouldn't be
don't-
a session if we didn't traumatize Grabella a little bit.
Yeah,
I know, it's my favorite thing!
Par for the course.
But I don't know. Which is now a sentence I've said.
As you all sit around the bonfire for just a moment, shaking the dirt out of your ears and wringing the water from your hair, you hear an ear-splitting screech echo from inside the church.
I might have to go deal with it, though.
Probably. And then that's probably, then we get out of the trap.
Yeah.
It's fine. We can't fail. We have Kongzlo. Kongzlo?
Kongzlo?
Whatever.
Kongzlo.
Hello.
Is Kongzlo's fireball made of a flaming handful of shit?
That's up to him to flavor.
He
That
would,
sort of.
though.
I mean, technically speaking, polymorph only prevents you from doing things that you do not have the necessary physical capability of doing in the new form. If he's smart enough, I guess technically he could hurl a fireball. I don't know.
Well,
We're gonna find out.
and we're gonna find out next session, as it's currently 9 o'clock. You all have
Next time,
managed.
all new.
Next time on Arctis, you've managed to crawl your way out of being buried alive. Not so much Trappet's nightmare as it was Rabella's repressed memory. And this is not the first time that she's had to crawl her way out of a coffin, feared that she was dead. A terrifying experience, and not everybody, especially in C-Swap's case, gets out alive. You're lucky to have such good friends. The general, or generals, in the church that are causing the festering of this nightmare await. And we'll see how our heroes, and including Kongzlo the giant ape, fare against them next session. Thank you all for joining me as we delve into the primal fears. And of course, starting with Grabella, being buried alive isn't all that it's cracked up to be. And two of you are suffering the malign mental effects of being trapped. For now, that is the end of session. And I will see you all next Monday. Sound good?
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
All right, everybody. One quick question for Kongzlo. Kongzlo, are you streaming? Should I host you?
I can start. I will be streaming, so I can start that up here in just a sec.
All right, we're going to fire it back over to Kongzlo as he continues the streamathon. Support him in his Malört drinking habit.
Let's not make it a habit.
Please
It's
don't.
bedtime. I have to
No,
work tomorrow.
You don't need more talk about butt eggs, please. I don't need that in my life.
I'm Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah, exactly. It's, the Malört turned Devilor into Gwyneth Paltrow.
I got a jade egg, primed and ready, sir.
Oh god, don't get me started on that whole thing.
and good night.
And good night. And see.
And good night.
Good night, everybody. Good night. Good night. I will see you all next week. All right, chat. Well, that was a session. Holy. That's it for Arctis today. Well, they will have to defeat the primal fears in order to weaken Vanix. Or if they go after him at his strongest in the realm of nightmare, they will have no chance. Thanks for watching. Catch all of our VODs over on Arctis DD on YouTube. My Wangdoodle voice was pretty good. Hey, thanks. Only Wangdoodle does Wangdoodle pretty good, but I gotta fill in here or there. Check out the VODs in full at Arctis DD on YouTube. We just had a short do super well, so we got a couple more subscribers. Hooray! I'd love it if you were one. Catch our shorts and our funny moments over on Play Arctis on Twitter and TikTok. And I'm your host, Zarina. We're gonna change it up. I think we're gonna do 2 shorts a week. They're doing really well. So catch all of our content on Play Arctis. Watch the VODs on Arctis DD, and very shortly we're going to fire it over to Devo, aka Kongzlo the Giant Ape, as he continues his streamathon. Well, thank you for watching, and I will catch you all next time. Next episode, I solo the session. Whee! Blue Sky went never.